Hello? Hello? Oh. Hey! I guess I clicked something that turned off my audio. God, I really am tired, aren't I? Yeah. Hey, everyone. Hey, Alex. Ah, shoot. Now I got something in my eyes. Hey, Curious. Hi, Chicken Man. Yeah? Yeah. I guess I clicked on something for my audio not to be linked to. Seems like an interesting game, though. Is it? It's actually quite a lot of fun. Like, it has a little bit of a Souls-like quality to it. Like, you just don't want to take a ton of damage. And there is a lot of rolling. And the bosses aren't, like, really easy. Well, not super easy. But, yeah, no, it's a good game. It's a great game. Yeah. Like, how you roll in Dark Souls. Yeah. Actually, I'm almost done with the game. So I have an entire playlist. If you guys want to check it out. Yeah. To be honest, I'm surprised to be seeing you, Alex, after... Well, after you kind of, shall we just say, fled. Yeah. 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 So, just please understand that well, the thing is, the way that you handled all that made you, let's just say in public opinion, kind of seem like the stuff that you were being accused of uh, more and more of a possibility. Yeah, but may I point out, oh, hey, I'm being accused of something that is on the internet considered a very, well, a big no-no. And then you decide to pretty much do the next worst thing and get rid of said possible evidence. So, yeah, I would just say, especially around here, tread lightly. Not saying I'm gonna block you or ban you, because I'm not exactly sure if all the accusations were true about you. But I'm a hesitant person. Well, let's just... Like, I know that quite a bit of time has passed, but the whole thing with, like, Fear Server and, like, just how a lot of those mods that I'm friends with were... No, especially with Fear herself, like, as I said, what you were being accused of was... your little drama that you had on Twitter at the time was noticed by her head mod, Tyrant. And let's just be pretty frank. You kind of were checking some of those boxes of someone who, shall we say, kind of keeps trying to brush off their own trail. Constantly changing your name, constantly changing your profile pic, and pretty much the nail in the coffin. Really, it was just the art thing. And yeah, as I said, it checks some boxes, but it's not like there aren't people who do it. For example, Name. He did that all the time back in the day. But I think something else about it is just around that time, there was no sort of accountability shown. It was just kind of like, oh, shoot, I was caught. Sort of from an outsider's view. Well, disappear from the internet. But, yeah, I just would say don't be surprised if from time to time you see a little bit of hostility. Not necessarily from me, because, as I said, I'm not exactly sure about that whole thing. And I'm someone who forgives if the right actions were taken. But, I'm doing alright, Name. Hey, Toast. But I also know that you're young. But yeah. Let's no, nothing, Name. I'm not playing a game. We're just talking. Have I not made that clear? Maybe I haven't. Because right now I'm in... Yeah. But I just started not too long ago. I was able to set up my little TV as my second monitor. So, yeah, I got, like, now I kind of have, like, two sort of monitors. Except one of them actually has speakers built in, so I can do my own stuff and, I don't know, play a game on the side. You got a decent setup? Well, let's just say that the TV that I'm using doesn't even have HDMI, so that's how old it is. Yeah, like I started around 14, 15 minutes ago, so nothing too epic has happened, or nothing too juicy. Oof. Yeah, reset it back up today, and it's gonna have to take some getting used to, because I have it set up, like, I don't think I can switch it, but the way that I have it is pretty much, yeah. But pretty much the way that I have it is I have to move my mouse to the right just so that I can use it on my monitor on the left, or right. Or, yeah, left. Gosh, this is already confusing me. And then I got my TV right next to that monitor. That's fine. But I guess since I'm talking about, you know, some internet drama. And yes, Alex, I know that I'm using you as a segue. Have you... Wait, I guess I should ask. Do any of you know anybody by the name of Christian? I'm hoping I see a lot of no's, but I wouldn't be surprised if I saw some yes. Nope. No? Well, have you ever heard of this hybrid called Sonichu? It's a mixture of Sonic and Pikachu. Oh, you know who Christian is? Like, that's how some people would Kyler, no, it's not a cartoon. It's like fan art, sorta. And also Christian is an actual person. I won't go into the reason why they are so controversial, or at least why they were facing trial. But, or especially what the act that they were being tried for, but they just got released. And something about this person is, let's just say they aren't all there. And good Lord, I hope that they never get back on the internet. Trust me, I guess if you are even just slightly curious, I would suggest watching a video of Turkey Tom. He goes into good depth about that, but just be honest, I'm gonna give you a warning right now. Just know that it is not a pretty picture. Oh, come on. What's going on with my monitors? Oh, okay. Wait, what? Be honest, when someone makes fan art ever in their real head? Huh? I'm sorry. Am I misreading that? If that's the case, I would probably suggest that you don't. Like, knowing the kind of stuff that I looked at when I was like 13. Yeah. I would probably suggest that just because of the situation that revolves around this person, probably best that you might not want to, look into it. I mean, when someone makes fan arts, are they ever really in their head? Wait, what? Yeah, I wouldn't suggest it. Let's just put it like that. Like, it's not like, oh, they killed someone. No, it's just like, it just makes you feel gross, and I don't think you could take enough showers to just get off the dirty feeling. It's that bad. Yeah. It's absolutely disgusting. It is. It is. It is. Ugh. And that's part of the thing that kind of surprised me is like, wait, they're already out of jail? Why Georgia? Or wait, no, it was Virginia. Why Virginia? Come on. Or is it like... Oh. Yep, just recently. Yeah, if you look about Christian as of recently, actually you probably wouldn't even have to. I would kind of agree with you there. But yeah, talking about bad people, no, dude. Let's just say it has to do something with him and his mom. And I think if you're already putting two and two together, and it doesn't include murder, yeah, let's just say... Ugh. I wish I were, but... yeah. That's as much as I even want to say, and I didn't even want to say that much. But speaking of other controversial characters, does anybody remember Firefest? You know, that thing? That thing that happened once? Yeah, the guy who made that, or did it, well, I'll give you a brief summary of Firefest. Initially, Firefest was going to promote its own app. Essentially, you could hire people to do music for you. So think of like SoundCloud, but you hire people. What this guy wanted to do was do something like, Burning Man, or, like convention, that kind of stuff. He wanted to do it himself. And so many people were like, oh my gosh, that sounds like a great idea. And he said, like, Drake's gonna be there. And, I don't know if he said that there was a lot of, like, big artists. like musical artists going to be there. And so a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, this sounds amazing, I want to go. And it was, I believe it was in the Caribbean? Like, I'm not looking at any summary stuff. Yeah, he said there was going to be a lot of people like that there. And so a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. And it seemed pretty official. Well, and there was other stuff as well, like, you would be in this nice eco-friendly tent or something, like it'd be a nice tent, and there's gonna be, nice food, and it's gonna be, like, really, like, overall nice. But part of it is, it wasn't like a package deal. Like, if you bought the tickets, okay, you're gonna have to figure out a way to get over to the Caribbean. You're gonna have to figure out a boat ride to, get to the island. I'll get to that part. Like, just pour a ton of money just to get to the event. So, like, a lot of people actually went. And when they got there, there was issues right off the bat. Issue number one. The luxury tents that they had were emergency tents. Like after, like hurricanes, tornadoes, tragic natural events, or, just events like that you set up. That's what was used. And there weren't enough. But they had enough mattresses. So people got to sleep under the stars, I guess. Food. There wasn't a ton of food. If you got something to eat, it was a cheese sandwich. Not ham and cheese. Not grilled cheese. Just a cheese sandwich. The people that were hired, quote unquote, a lot of them weren't paid. They didn't get paid. So that was a big issue. A lot of the artists didn't show up. Actually, I don't think any of them showed up. So, yeah, that was a huge major flop. And people wanted refunds. Well, little issue about that. People showed up. People showed up. That's the thing. People actually showed up for that. But it was the artists that didn't show up. But actual, like, people who paid money. A lot of it. It wasn't a cheap thing. Yeah. Well, the thing is, people demanded refunds. But the refunds weren't, as I said before, this wasn't a package deal. And this guy kind of tried to run away with the money. Because he's like, oh, I'm sorry, guys. This didn't turn out as well as I wanted. Well, see you next year. Yeah, he got arrested and put into prison. And I think I also heard that he was put into solitary confinement. Which, whether you think putting someone into solitary confinement is a good or bad thing, considering that he still seems mentally stable, I don't think they, put him in mental, they either didn't actually do that, and that's just some rumor that was spread across the internet, or he wasn't in there long. Because putting some people into solitary confinement for long enough can make you just a blabbering idiot. Like, it breaks you. It breaks you. And the reason why I'm bringing him up right now is he didn't learn anything. He didn't learn his lesson when he was thrown into jail because he pretty much scammed a bunch of people out of their money. And as of recently, he's come back to the internet and has said, like, who's ready for Firefest 2? It's like, dude, the first one wasn't even, a success. And the crazy thing is, there's actually people who are like, hey, I want to go. And it's like, what the heck is wrong with these people? And he's claiming the same thing. Oh, I'm going to get, the big artists to show up. And, like, he also made some jokes about, like, oh, well, my production team's not going to let me do a lot. Maybe make some cheese sandwiches. Like, you are just a piece of crap. Like, I don't think a lot of those people got their money back. Also, because he's still in debt. But he's still, in the video that he released, I'm not sure how old it is, when he's talking about Firefest, he's like, oh, it looks like he's living this high, lavish life, even though he probably can't pay for it. And it seems like the only reason he wants to do Firefest 2 is just to scam people again so that he can pay off his first, pay off the people who went after him and are still going after him because of the last time. Oh, crime on Nelly. Well, yeah, that's exactly the thing. It's like, that's the thing, though. Like, you're exactly right, Name. Wouldn't that increase his debt? Of course it would. Because he doesn't have the money to do this. And if someone, is actually, backing him up on this, apparently they got money to burn. Or he just got, a kick contract. Yeah. But it's just like... And this is supposedly going to happen in 2024. I don't remember what month, but it's just like... what? Why? My brain hurts. It's sad. It's pathetic. It's sad. It's horrible. Later, Toast. But it's just... ugh. It fries the brain a little. Because there's people out there that are like, yeah, I'm so ready for this. And it's like... do you remember the last one? Yeah, I definitely remember it. It was wonderful. Not having enough bathrooms, sleeping under the stars, as it is frigid cold. Unless, they were one of the lucky ones that got the tents, but I heard that the mattresses weren't that comfy either. And, never getting to see your favorite artist. How wonderful. How absolutely wonderful would that experience be? But you'd probably be one of the smart people like, there's nothing here. I don't even think there was a concert stage there. That's how unprepared it was. And this guy was trying. See ya. Like, it was just a mess. It was an utter mess. Oh, later name. Well, God, there's a lot of controversies right now. The Island Boys, Boozy Tube. Granted, I don't want to talk about the Island Boys. No. I see. Unless you want me to talk about one of those guys. Actually, I could talk about Nikocado Avocado. I know, like, this is a little bit of old news. But, Nikocado Avocado, a mukbang YouTuber, if you aren't aware of him. From what I've heard, is actually trying to lose some weight. It seems like they might... It seems like that guy might actually be trying to turn his life around. I mean, I haven't seen any of his recent content, but that's just what I heard last time. But this is of a recent. Like, supposedly in one of his videos, one of his more recent videos, he lost around 20 pounds. Unless he was eating some sort of miracle food, which, I mean, if you eat anything, maybe you'll find something. But, granted, yeah, I kind of was the same way. Like, this guy, yeah, and Trump said he'd make America great again. Yeah, he did. Don't you know that the way to make America great is make everybody hate each other? And, you know, try and burn everything to the ground to rebuild it into a dictatorship? Yeah, that's how you make America great, right? But, yeah, like, part of it about them is, yeah, I hate the character that they play, where it's like, you act like a big man baby, and there's a lot of that right now, of course there is. And I'm not just talking about politicians or YouTubers, but just a lot of that is going on. But if this person is actually, you know, well, yeah, dude. But something that even Nikocado Avocado has said himself, the only reason I live this lifestyle, why I do mukbangs, why I still have all this popularity, is because of you people. Because, I mean, like, can you really disagree with him? Like, let's say that he did decide to go on a, you know, business. Like, he actually tried to go on a weight-losing journey. Would it be beneficial to him? Would he still be making the money he does right now? Granted, he probably has so much freaking money right now that I'm surprised he hasn't bought himself, you know, a portable toilet that just has wheels that he can just ride around on. Yeah, I heard that breathing can give you cancer. Actually, there is some pretty, like, really relevant, okay, and... But just because someone lowers your testosterone doesn't make you gay. Because I can already tell you that there are animals out there that have pretty low testosterone and... well... What scientific proof do you have of that? Hey, Willow. But yeah, but scientific, like, but from what I've seen, I could make the argument that, oh no, like, gay people come from tragedy. Maybe some of them do, but you can't just, be like, okay, it's so broad that it has to, include everyone. It's like, yeah, just because I noticed that kind of thing with some people doesn't mean that it's because of everything. Doesn't mean that's the reason why it's like, I don't understand. Bro, why did I not the general text chat when I joined the server also food? Doesn't make it. Oh, I mean, it's the same thing like the Liver King. You're kind of pointing out, name. Like the Liver King says, if you eat raw liver, you get these gains. Higher your chance. But let me just honestly point out something. Tofu has been around for quite some time. Actually, now you got me curious. How long has tofu been around? Because tofu... what? No, not yofu. Tofu. Back to is soy milk... Okay, how old is... God, my mic's like right in front. It's a Southeast Asian cuisine, and it's over 2,000 years old. Gay people have been around longer than 2,000 years. Well, I didn't read Willow's chat message. I was looking at the Wikipedia article. Actually, now I'm kind of curious about something else. Holy cow, this goes all the way back to 2400 BC? BCE? Wow. Really? Well, according to Google, in 2400 BCE, Kunamtept and Nakhin are believed to be the first same-sex couple in recorded history. So, and that's recorded history. And that would be older than, what, the Shane? Because I know that there has been multiple records from different cultures throughout time that have pointed to this. No, I'm not going back to the Wikipedia article. I have nothing... Okay, that sentence is already breaking my brain. You have nothing against gay people? Well, some people do. Because there's that stupid argument that, oh, it's unnatural. It's like, but it is actually quite natural. Like, penguins do it. Frogs. Toads. Lizards. Snakes. Granted, I'm naming a lot of amphibians and reptiles. And also some birds. Apes. Apes have been recorded doing it. Or being in relationships. It's not as weird as mankind, like, as stupid humans have made it. Like, forbidden. It's like, yeah, because the stupid book said so. The stupid book wasn't around before that. Or, you know, the scrolls, or, you know, your stone tablets. As long as, you know, it's not, you know, same blood, I don't have any issue with it. Like, hey, love who you want to love. Unless, you know, it starts getting into the sort of, should I be questioning this? Because I have been there. Not like, you know, same-sexual stuff, but just kind of like, maybe I am a little too attached to this person. But I guess you have never really gotten into the world that people judge you a lot on your own choices. Like, I have seen people, like, highly respected, but the moment that they say, like, oh yeah, I support LGBT, just a lot of people being like, what? I'm sorry, what? No, wow, I thought you were a good person. Yeah. It's just like, really? Really? Well, and also you could do that with the vice versa, with something else. Actually, with a lot of stuff. But, let's be honest, if someone really wanted to, they could go through a lot of my streams and try to find, you know, like, just clip little sentences I've said without the context and make it sound like, oh yeah, that's my choice. When it's like, with more context, it makes sense why I said that. Maybe even still not. But it's just like, Ugh. Okay, actually I'm kind of confused. I don't see your question either, Yanage. What was the thing you wanted to say before Kyler ended his stream last night? Oh, that question. I forgot that question. No, I think she's more so pointing it at what you were kind of saying against me. I'm pretty sure we were on the, girlfriend talk or something. Like significant others or something like that. Oh, not no, well, that's not quite right. In an argument. Okay. Yeah. Well. Anybody play Starfield yet? I've heard it's pretty good so far. Are you kidding me? It's almost been an hour already? No, because I'm... Like, right now in this game, I'm pretty much at the point where I can't really do much. Like, I would probably be spending all night just looking for 3 seeds. And also, this is just a chat stream. This is just, background. Because PlayStation be that way. It won't let me just, have a dark screen or just have a plastered to my face. How the heck did I do that? I've been talking this entire time. You're acting like I just have said nothing. I did? God, maybe I am a little too tired. Yeah. I don't think it's gonna, that bad that it makes you cry. Oh, that reminds me of something about, I talked to my psychiatrist recently, and I brought up something. I'm having issues remembering stuff as of recently, and I think it's shown a little bit in stream that, we might have a conversation or a conversation not very long ago, and I'm like, when did we talk about that? Like, when did you ever bring that up? And, yeah, I talked to her about it, because I talked to someone who also worked with her about some medication I should have been, should have been taking just to help out my depression, which I haven't been having issues with depression, so I've been not taking it. Well, not as bad as it was. And yeah, with that other meetup, I couldn't remember ever having, I didn't even remember getting medication. God, I hope not, as my grandpa had that, and I think I probably would, rather, exit the game early, if that were the case. As that is just okay. How about you knock that off? But as I was talking to my psychiatrist, they said that they received an email from, the person I was prescribing the medication to me, and I guess they thought that possibly Now, all of this might start making some sense. Supposedly, they either thought that the medication had some sort of side effect that they weren't aware of, and I have been taking it this entire time. I just never remembered that I was taking it, or buying it, or getting it, or, or possibly vice versa, that the medication had some side effect once again, affecting my memory. But they assured them that I do not need to be rushed to the hospital, supposedly, which that kind of alarmed me, thinking of needing to go to the hospital in America. I do have good insurance, but God, just the idea of going to the hospital because you can't remember where you left your keys that morning. But they said that the possibility of why you're struggling to remember stuff is, how many jobs do you work again? I work 3. Plus, I even did mention this, plus streaming, or, video making, or something along those lines. Okay, so how often are you eating? I might have 1 meal a day. Okay, maybe that's part of the issue. You aren't feeding your brain enough, or you're not getting, all the stuff you need to function. Plus, also, part of that could lead into you are working 3 jobs. You might be overworking yourself because you're undertaking care of yourself. And also, usually after these streams, I might eat something, I might not, I might just go to bed. No, and that's the thing. Part of that name is, how do you tell someone to stop doing something if they aren't aware that it's hurting them? It's nothing in my life has really changed. Right now, as I've mentioned to my psychiatrist, Which, this is stuff I'm willing to share. But, let's be honest, that, like, a pizza or a hamburger is probably more nutritious than sometimes the stuff I actually eat. Like, a pack of crackers might be my dinner for that day. But yeah, let's just say that for the most part, if I wasn't streaming, my life would be an endless cycle of just absolute depression and torment. Because let me just put it in a way like this, since I know a lot of you are younger, you're still going to school. Imagine just waking up, doing something else, getting home, and that's the only part of the day you actually remember. Going to bed, and doing it again. And again. And again. And then next week. Then 2 weeks. 3 weeks. 5 weeks. 20 weeks. 40 weeks. 60 weeks. 80 weeks. An entire year. 2 years. 4 years. But name this, as I said, this is something you're not going to encounter quite yet. And hopefully you never, like, you won't have to deal with that cycle for very long. But this is something that a lot of people deal with. Like, we end up in a cycle. And for me, when it's like, I just wake up, go to work. Do I remember anything that I did at work? No, I just know that I went to work. Okay, what about my second job? Okay, I know that I worked. Maybe I remember a few details, but it's just like, yeah, I worked. Okay, what about your third job? I worked. Any details? No. And then I get home and I stream. And that's kind of when it's like, oh yeah, I streamed. I had fun. That's the only part of the day I look forward to. But something I've also pointed out to friends, family, and just generally people is you need money to do fun things. Because you also need friends. Like if you don't have money. I don't have very much of either. Like, I have friends, but I don't have any friends that really live by. Hey, Rain! Like, it's just... part of it is society right now is more geared to needing to be beneficial, but not for the individual. Like, what helps the machine run, but the workers that are running it, if they, get grinded into the gears, yeah, small price to pay. And that's something that, right now, and probably for a very long time, yeah. Well, I know when I had to take my antidepressant medication, or I guess it, like, I know it was supposed to help me with my mood. It wasn't necessarily antidepressants per se, it was just to help balance, because it wasn't just depression. It was almost like I was, and I don't necessarily want to say it like I was bipolar, but my mood would swing. But usually just kind of like, yeah, I'm happy. Oh, great. My day's just absolutely ruined. There's nothing in this world that can make me happy. And then just be like, hey, wow, it's a beautiful day. Oh, great. It's a beautiful day. How, gosh, I hate it. Just kind of like that. Like, I could swing my mood pretty fast. So we did do a genetics test just to see what would help. And I think I've brought it up before, but apparently my genetics have something where I can consume what is it? Not carbonation, caffeine a lot faster. I don't get it. Why can humans be depressed? You're the most superior being on the planet, and you're making yourself sad, having you seen what other animals have to go through to get food. Well, that's part of the thing, Name. Humans aren't the only ones that can get depressed. Animals can get depressed too. And there's actually a case of a bird, like a parrot, hey Toast, that's actually became aware of its own existence. It actually was able to comprehend that it's alive. Like, it will one day die. And that bird became extremely depressed. Because it became aware of its own existence. It became aware of the fact that it one day will die, so why is life... Like, that's something else, Name. Even before we had PCs, before we had PlayStation, before we had all this technology blasting us, people, like, there's still times when people were depressed. Depression isn't something new. Because you, like, something that's really weird about us people, us human beings, is we could find a reason to be depressed about anything. Oh, I'm not getting paid enough. I'm not getting to experience things in life. Well, I hope, Rain, that never happens. I hope that you stick around and live a long, happy life. But something else, Name, excuse me, is part of the issue that we humans are able to comprehend is we live. But we also are able to comprehend that what are our chances of this happening? What are our chances of that happening? What's our chances of dying an early death? It's not like, oh, well, I got this strange lump on me. Well, I think I'm still gonna live, right? No, it's like, oh, I need to take care of that or I'm gonna die. It's like, we have so much... Part of it is just we have so much information now. Like, we have information at our fingertips. Some of it, like, accurate. Some of it is like, yes, you have a... Like, if you get a sunburn, you will die in 2 minutes. Oh, it was nice knowing you. It's like, what? Like, there's so much conflicting information. Well, Name, let me just say, you'd never really quite know that. Like, I'm knocking pretty close to death's door. Yeah, everybody dies. Everybody will die. Everybody will have to, exit out, shall we say. Yeah, and I've been in so many near car crashes Like, not like where the car's totaled, but if I didn't wear my seatbelt or something like that, I probably could have gone flying out a window and snapped my neck. As I said, Name, you don't know what everybody has to go through. Besides, it's hard to ratio something like that. If it were something like you were a hitman, like you knew that people were constantly after your life, like every day to day, like there were signs that people were after your life, yeah, I could understand you saying that. But I don't think you're living your life in fear. There isn't, some sniper out on the top of a building looking at you through a scope, waiting for the call. Well, here's something kind of funny and kind of odd. Is I dream. Yeah, threats. They probably take care of them. Well, here's something I guess I'll talk a little bit about. I'm a person who dreams. Like, I can actually have, like, lucid dreams time to time. And something I will have occasionally is, shall we say, exit dreams. Just, keep it YouTube friendly. And it kind of usually goes into certain ways where it's absolutely horrifying. And part of it is it's a part of my mind that I don't usually get to see. Yeah, that's the thing about depression. It's hard to deal with. But, may I continue my story? Sorry. Like, I'm not... that probably came out a bit rude. I'm losing my train of thought. There have been dreams where I have jumped off buildings. There have been dreams where I have used a force multiplier. I've been stabbed, drowned, stabbed in the back by about everybody I've known, especially Fear, Tyrant, Strife, Nia, Kage, just random people I don't know. Have been eaten alive, have been torn apart, have been eviscerated, have been hunted. For some reason I have a lot of hunting dreams. I don't know why. Bitten by snakes. Have been absolutely crushed to the detrimental of a black hole. Well, the thing is, the way that most of that stuff works, Name, because let me point out something. Those things lead to death, right? Why do I still remember them? If it were to instill fear, then I should not remember. I should just remember the instant that happens. Which I don't usually. Like, I still feel it, but usually when that stuff happens, there's something that always happens, and it happens all the time. There's a sense of calming that comes with it. And, like, there's an entire laundry list of, ways I've died in a dream. One depressed guy that's jacked, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Hey, do push-ups, do pull-ups. Find a way. Like something, you kind of... But I don't think you've realized that his life hasn't always been, sunshine and roses. Like, he had a wife at one time, and they divorced. Do you think he was like, yes, I'm getting a divorce? No. I mean, he's the reason why it happened. But do you think he was looking at himself in a good light during that time? Like, there's also something you kind of have to be aware of, Name. Just because you treat yourself well doesn't mean that you can't feel down at times. Like The Rock. There has been times that he has remotely talked about how he's been depressed at times. Like, the guy has an absolute great body. He has a great career. He has a family. Why would he be depressed? Because life happens. And... Yep. Hey, it's fine, Cosmic. If you need to leave, then do what you need. But I don't know why, but I can remember a study. And this is a study I read long ago. And part of it, I think, is just pretty made up, but part of it I also could see how even a hint of it could be factually true. Who would live longer? A guy who has a dad bod, or a guy who's completely ripped? And the answer that I read was the guy who has the dad bod. Because even though you can work your body, you can work your mind, let's look at the people who have lived the longest. Are they absolutely jacked? Are they ripped? Are they having bulging muscles? No. They were just simple people. Like, there's that one clip of the lady who said, you want to know the secret to how I've lived so long? I drink a Dr. Pepper every day. And I remember my doctor once told me if I kept on drinking a Dr. Pepper every day, I would die. I outlived him. I see that clip now and then, and it kind of is like, wow. Like, that is such a baller move be the best self you can be. Well, name that could mean a lot for anybody. Like, what is your best self? Is that being ripped? Maybe not. Because I'm gonna quote something else that a comedian has said. A man known as Isiel Iglesias, or Fluffy, and he made a good point. Would I rather, be my best self? No, I'm gonna be paraphrasing, but would I want to be my best self, live a long life, and be miserable? Or would I want to live life in the way that makes me happy, even if it may be short? And part of that, I honestly kind of have to agree with. Like, would I want to live to, be 100 and be absolutely miserable because all I've ever been eating is beets? Or would I want to do what I enjoy, be happy with it, and not have to worry? Later, Rain. Also, I find it somehow ironic that we're talking about this, as the game is called Death's Door. How do we end up on death? How? It's different for everyone. Yeah, it's different for everyone. Exactly. And that's probably the best answer. Yeah. I mean, as strange as it might sound, there are people out there who love to be depressed. There are people out there who love to be miserable. And we look at those people and we're like, that's not your best life. Why? Part of the issue that we have right now is a lot of people try to push what we think is, the best for them. What's best for, us is best for them. And we push that on them. We push it on other people. How many times have you seen a video that's like, oh, do you want to get rock hard abs? Well, just follow this course. And it's like, if you don't... Actually, that reminds me of a video I saw. Moist Critical did it. About a car dealership guy, or I think he's supposed to be one, won't hire you if you don't have abs. If you don't have abs, all you have is flabs, he ain't gonna hire you. And it's just kind of... I watched him do that video, and I'm like, this is a good point. Good advertisement, if I'm honest. Well, the thing about it is, at first I'm like, oh, okay, that makes, promoting, being your better self and all that. No, this guy's just an absolute donkey, shall we say it. He kind of, the way that he talked about, if you don't have abs, you're just subhuman. It was kind of the way that he kind of was jabbing at it. Oh, you're not on my level. It's and that's something I know I've brought up a lot recently. Oh, it's not on your level. It's not on this level. It's What if Calvin Klein had overweight people in their commercial? Who? Who's Calvin Klein? An underwear? But you realize that nowadays, I don't think people would actually mind that, as it's like, oh, hey, you know, like, big people have an issue with that, like finding clothes that fit. Because I can tell you that part of, you know, like that, oh, the abs, the smoking hot chicks, the, like, part of advertisement over here at least, like, you do see, like, commercials still like that where it's like, this guy is incredibly hot. And then you just see, like, a lot of average Joes. Okay, you go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna do whatever the heck I want. If my ancestors are just like, how did this... Like, how are you even related to us? Look at what you're doing right now. You're in front of something called a screen, talking into some metal to people who you've never met. Like, how are you proud of yourself for doing this? And to them, I say, were you proud to live your life? Like, were you proud that, I don't know, you got an education? You did something to be productive for your family? Are you saying you never had a hobby? Probably not. As, from my understanding, my family was, at least on one side, was a lot of hard workers. Are you sure? As far back as you can go. Are you sure all your ancestors were fighters? Because I could probably tell you that I've had ancestors who were fighters, some that were farmers, some that were just evil folk. Like, how far back is that? Because that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, are we talking about, yeah, back in, you know, the 20s? Or are we talking about back into the time of Christianity? Or back into the time of... But that gives no certain time period at all. Like, you could say that Ooga Booga, your ancient ancestor, fought in, you know, the Aga Maga Wars or something like that. And also, slavery isn't, you know, as new. No, it's actually, like, really old as well. And it's been around for way too long, in my opinion. But I would have to say, like, yeah, you probably are aware of, you know, the people, your ancestors that did do something with themselves. But then might I ask, what about your other family members that didn't? Like, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, like, of course you're gonna have, like, there's a reason why you're here, because they must have been successful at some point. But I can tell you honestly that if you expect a large majority of your ancestors to be fighters, then you might have to dig into that a little bit more. Because being a good fighter doesn't mean you'll be successful. That makes sense. Because I know that, at least from one side of my family, farming, gatherers, that is going to be way more productive. But also intermittent hunting, fighting. Fighting is always going to be part of your ancestors' history. Because, as I mentioned before, Ooga and Booga, or Ooga Booga and Hooga Dooga. Like, yeah, at some point they probably were going to bash each other's brains in, because that's life. That was life at that time. If you didn't fight, you died. But was that something of a tradition? Was that something because your ancestors were like, I need to do this because, the betterment of my family? No, it was just, I need to do this to survive, so I can make sure that there's the next of kin. And that kin understands that you have to do this. There's no, not, well, I don't want to, Dad. It's like, no, you do this. Or I get rid of you, and I get, a kin that will. But yeah, I'm getting really tired, and I'm already forgetting what I'm saying. I think I'm gonna end it here. So, if you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you won't miss out on any future streams, videos, etc. I'm Kyler Creeper, is that Sasquatch? Signing out. Bye.